Hey, I'm Jeff Ingram, a former teen father turned husband, entrepreneur, master life coach, author, motivational speaker, and CEO of iCreate Inc. International, a business that holistically empowers people who lead teams, businesses, and organizations around the world. I created the Power of One podcast to give you insight into the lessons I've learned and people I've met on my journey to tap into my true power and potential and to teach you simple, actionable, step-by-step strategies to help you do the same. So if you're an ambitious entrepreneur or leader like me, or one in the making who's looking to build a team or business that makes a lasting impact and create a life you love, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Power of One podcast. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I'm going to welcome you to another episode of the Power of One podcast. I want to welcome you. I'm so happy that you're here. Especially if you are somebody like me or like my guest today. You are a person who is very passionate and ambitious about fulfilling your purpose as a leader, whether you're leading a team, you're leading an organization, or just leading yourself, your own life, your own career. If that is you, today you are in for a very, very, very special treat because I'm going to be here talking to my queen sister, Miss Destiny Inspired, the empowerment juggernaut herself. Say hello, Miss Destiny. Hello.
Hi. Good to be here. Good to be here, Jeff. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's no problem. So those of you that have been following me and iCreate for at least the past year, you already know Miss Destiny, right? She's a very, very good friend of mine that God brought into my life. And ever since I met her actually at one of our, well, not at one of, as we we're preparing for one of our boot camps, Power One boot camps out at Lenox Mall we did back in 2019. COVID shut us down this year, but it's okay. But Miss Destiny, she was actually one of our speakers at our event, and she blew my mind.
And we went, you said Lenox, right?
Yeah, at Lenox.
Yeah, yep, that was the first one. That's so true.
Blew my mind. I was like, oh my goodness, she's the whole package. She's the bomb. And her spirit, her mind, her whole everything is good. She's a good person.
I try to be, it's rough out here in this world.
Stature, but she really is a juggernaut. Like, and I think about Juggernaut, I used to watch X-Men. And so Juggernaut was he was the big dude, but she ain't. But on the inside, you wait till she start talking.
Many people don't even know what Juggernaut, or they don't even remember it from the show. And I'm like,
really?
It's a word, but they don't even they've never heard of it ever. I'm like, never, not even on the TV show, the cartoon. But okay. No, nothing. So that's cool that you remember that.
Oh yeah, I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd for real.
That could be a good thing. Nothing wrong with that.
Yes, it is. The world needs us.
That's right. Absolutely.
We wouldn't have this beautiful technology we're using right now.
We wouldn't. It's so important to have everybody plays a part. So listen, I'm grateful. Right. I wish I was a little more nerdy because I sure am technologically not savvy at all. So
hey, you make it happen though. You make it do.
I probably break more stuff before I get it to working than anything, but it's cool. It's cool. Everybody can't be a Jeff, but
hey, you know what? everybody can't be a Destiny either. And
I guess we all play our part though,
Yeah, with your unsavviness, you really doing your thing, lady. You're really doing your thing. And
thank you.
Actually, with that, like, you want to introduce yourself, kind of who is Miss Destiny?
Okay, so I am Destiny Inspire, which is my inspirational moniker. Also Destiny King Cannon. I'm an empowerment speaker, certified life coach, an author, and a women's goal strategist. I have a company called Destiny Inspire LLC, which we help women all things personal, professional, and spiritual development. A subcategory of that is the Queen Council. That is also my spiritual empowerment group of women that I lead by the grace of God, work on our spiritual development. My whole goal is to empower and impact women to tap into their God-given purpose and potential by pushing through pain and converting that into their power. In a nutshell.
And that shell, she's doing her thing. I have to say, she is doing her thing. It's such an honor and pleasure to know you, to call you my friend, to call you queen sister, because she is definitely a queen. She's my sister. And yeah, it's great to have you here. We got a lot to talk about today. And but let's start. People that don't know you, right? Tell a little bit about the Destiny Inspire story, how you became Destiny Inspire.
Yeah. So, interesting story. I never ever intended that I would do any of this. Never saw it coming. Humble beginnings, church girl, Augusta, Georgia. The PK. Went to church every day. Worked every auxiliary there was. Lived at the church.
Mm-hmm.
Literally shut-ins. And so, all my life, that was just kind of me. I was always the servant, not so much the servant leader, but just the servant. And I love doing it. I got married at a young age. So I always kind of grew up, a lot faster than most. Had a lot of
Me
responsibilities at a
too.
young age,
Me
right? You
too.
get it. So a lot of responsibilities at a young age. Got married young, but unfortunately for me, my marriage did not work out. But during that transitional period, it was a time of self-discovery for me. So
Mm-hmm.
although it was a hard reality to face, not one that I would have necessarily chosen for myself, it then allowed me to go through the process of identifying who Destiny really was, apart from my roles, responsibilities, titles, who I was attached to. It helped
Mm-hmm.
me find out who was Destiny. And that process was very painful. Somewhat traumatic,
Mm-hmm.
embarrassing, but it was necessary because
Mm-hmm.
everything that I experienced and went through, I realized that the life that I was presenting was not really the life that was most impactful, right? So just because it was in a church setting, I felt like once I experienced things personal, I had more of a personal touch to those who experience those things, or those who are just trying to navigate life, who didn't have the same type of upbringing. So they gave me a
Wow.
passion to want to become a coach. They gave me a passion to take all of my collection of diaries and blogs and put them into books to help other people. And so I realized, and it's funny how the name Destiny Inspire came about. It really was a crossroads between, I wanted to reinvent myself, but I didn't want to use any of my last names, right? Like I didn't want to use my maiden name, but I didn't want to use my married name either. And so it was going to be Destiny Inspires with the S at the end, like, a verb or something
Right.
when I do. But that was taken, like online. I tried to buy it. They had it with the S. So I was like, well, I just have to go without the S. I was like, well, this sounds so stupid. But I was like, wait a minute. That's kind of a play on words,
Yeah.
Destiny Inspired, because my married name was Irby, so it was still DI. So I'm like, let's just make it a name,
Yeah.
So we created that brand, and being Destiny Inspired allowed me to tap into another side of me that people had not seen and that I had not even seen. And so
Mm.
that is the genesis of my brand, is identifying the other woman. Like I was Destiny Inspired was the other woman that I did not know was there, who was always waiting for that moment to come up and empower others and
Mm.
empower myself. So that's Destiny Inspired in a nutshell.
Wow. That's really, really, really interesting. Let me tell you why I say that's interesting. Because I'm working on my second book now, right? This
Congrats
book,
on the first one too,
yeah,
playbook.
thank you. That book bug, man, it's
Yeah.
very, I see how people get hooked on it, and
Mm-hmm.
so when I'm talking about well, in my first book I talked a lot about as someone as a leader, right? You have to first of all go back as far as you can. Your first phase is really identifying yourself as a leader, right? You really have to lead yourself, and in order to do that, you have to compile all of your experiences, your background, all those things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And by putting them together, it gives you perspective of really like all your tools, you get them all on the table. And now you can actually create something different. You could create really who you are, whatever you want to be, honestly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the person you create or what you shape yourself to be is what God wants you to be, right?
Absolutely.
But sometimes with trauma, if we don't have the right healing, we end up using those things to create ourselves to be somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's so beautiful to see, and the fruit of someone when they bring it together to become, the hero that's within, the
Right.
true hero that you are, because I believe everybody has potential. As a matter of fact, I'm talking
Everyone.
about Juggernaut, right? So
Right.
I was a super fan of X-Men. And so that
Mm-hmm.
world, I don't know if y'all don't know about the world, right? But it's a world where you have humans, regular humans, and you have mutants, which are humans, but they have this extra gene in there. So give them a mutation, something very unique, some unique ability that they can do. And you have people who had nice, beautiful ones, and some were ugly and they were harmful to people. And regular humans, they were afraid of the people that was mutants. And so they had this huge thing going on in the world. Matter of fact, Stan Lee wrote it in the civil rights era. So you had black
Mm-hmm.
and white, you had a racial thing going on. And I believe a lot like that, that everybody have something, like some kind of ability that is like extraordinary, right? Some of them are glamorous. Some of them are not. Like some of us are nerds. I'm just a cool looking nerd. I look good and things too. So I don't have the trait that stereotypical nerds carry, right? The thing is still have the brain power. That's what we have, right? Everybody has something unique about themselves that they do. And if you look at any hero storyline, it's always some kind of pain or situation that happens that wakes that up inside them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's very, I love how you understood and you took the pain and it unleashed the juggernaut.
And for those that may not know, by definition, a juggernaut is a huge, powerful, overwhelming force that crushes everything in its path. So not only do I identify myself as a juggernaut, the women that I serve, they are juggernauts because they have the power to crush whatever obstacle is standing in their path between where they are and where they want to be. So
that's right. Everybody has the power to crush. Ooh, that's so deep. Can you say it one more time?
Yeah, everyone has the power in them to crush every obstacle that is standing in their way from where they are to where they're designed to be.
That's right. I hope y'all got that, okay? I hope y'all got that. All right, good. Okay, so we have the story of where the juggernaut came from, right? Now, you shared a little bit about already kind of what you do, but let's talk a little bit about your world and kind of, you know, what you do in your world.
Okay, yeah. So in my world, and we always talk about, we want to impact the world, but I love how you said my world because we all have a world that we are assigned to, right? We live in the world, but we are assigned to a world. Just like every business has a target market and a target audience, your life, whether you have a personal business or not, your life has a target audience, a target market. And so in my world is all things women, all things growth and development. So although, men are also enhanced and impacted by my message, I'm super niche down to very specifically women who are on the path of self-discovery, on the path to purpose, and on the path of converting pain into power. And so I do that through the mediums of spiritual development, which I do a spiritual development prayer call every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:00 a.m. with the Queen Council. I call it empowerment, practicality, and prayer, because we have to know what we're praying about. And so sometimes we have to navigate through those problems with practicality. So I get principles, strategies. I'm a goal strategist. So I'm always going to leave you with principles, and then we'll pray about it. So in my world, we have spiritual development, but then we also have personal development, working on ourselves as women, working on our characters, working on becoming the type of woman to deserve the things we want, and not deserve as in try to work our way up to be good enough, but deserve as in someone who goes after, whose faith matches her works, whose dedication matches her consistency. So the personal development was setting up goals and creating a plan of action, being very strategic, very intentional. And then, of course, professional development, those who are, already in a professional field. I help with interviewing. I help with being ready for getting new jobs, or, how to present yourself in a professional manner, whether in business or in branding, trying to build your brand. So all things in my world are professional, personal, and spiritual development for women, everything that enhances our well-being overall.
That is, y'all hear that? I told you she's a monster. She's a beast. No, she's a juggernaut. Let me say that right. She's a juggernaut, absolutely. And it exudes out of everything she does, out of everything she says. And she says she focuses on women, but it's men that are impacted as well, right? So I'm a husband, right? And my wife loves Destiny. She's like, oh, babe, you see, look at that. Look at Destiny. Look at that. You see what she's doing? Oh, my goodness. You better get it, girl. She'd be like, yes, girl. You better get it, girl. Get it, right?
That is my queen sister.
Yes. And so it empowers her and encourages her as well, which is very sexy to me. You know what I'm saying? To be able, so it definitely benefits. We all have a role to play in this big picture. Like, and it's so, I feel so blessed and kind of cocky. It's okay. I'm kind of cocky about understanding how important it is to value everything around you, because my life is a whole nother space. It's a whole nother space. And what you were saying is one of the reasons why you're going to be a part of everything that iCreate does as long as possible, right?
I'm honored.
As long as possible.
I love iCreate.
Your schedule is building, and so it's great to be able to. Can you fit us in now? What you looking
Yeah,
at?
always.
Right.
Always listen. Just
So,
let me know. I'll try to observe your dates.
yes, yes, yes. So, but she talks about how she focuses in what she does on the spiritual side, the personal side, and the professional side. And that's what we're about as well. Because I believe through my experience that you can have, it's very easy to have limited success. It's very easy to have sporadic success. Right? And when you do not have a balanced palette, a balanced, holistic development regimen for yourself as the leader, you will have that sporadic, inconsistent growth and development, all those things. And so everything that we do as well is okay, where are you, and do you have what you need? Do you have what you need? If not, okay, there's people and there's resources available. For instance, like Destiny's always there to help women, because I'm a man and a woman that needs a woman to know what's going on. You know, that's, hey, I pass over to the queen's sister or to my wife or some other queens that are a part of the village we have. And so I love it. I'm so happy and excited about it. And so, but let's have a little conversation about leaders, right? Because you're a leader.
Okay, absolutely.
You're a leader. I'm a leader. We're talking to leaders. And tell me about, like, what's your understanding of leadership, and like, why is it important to you, and like, why are you even in this space like this about leaders?
Yeah. So I, for one, before you can be a leader, you have to have the ability to be led. And so part of me being led and being, like I say, a servant for so many years, which I'm always a servant at best. I'm a servant leader now, but being a servant is you learn that the purpose of a leader is still to serve. And so there are so many people that still need serving, but just need it at a high level where they have direction and sense of direction. And so that is the reason why I feel compelled to step into that space as a servant leader to help people navigate where it is that they're trying to get to, and to be that beacon of light that's still always at my best a servant. And so I learned that with servanthood, it's very complex. It's not really as cut and dry as we make it seem. Everyone wants to be a leader, right? We all want to just lead, I want to be a leader, but there's so many components that come with that aren't always glorious. It's not always about being in the limelight. The leader is the first to take the fall. The leader is the first to take the criticism, the first to take, whatever shots may come first, but the leader is who protects, those that they serve. And so for me, I've always had a heart for people. I've always had a love for people and wanting to help people get the best out of them. And so it's just natural for me. I've tried to fight and, stay in the back burner for a while, but eventually what's in you will come out of you, and people will be drawn to you effortlessly without you having to make yourself announce as a leader or announce yourself that you're over something. People will see those characteristics and qualities in you, and they then will gravitate to you automatically.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And if you don't have if you're not properly prepared as the leader when they navigate to you, that's where danger happens.
Absolutely.
That's where danger happens. And so so let's talk about the development, okay? Personal development, because we're all here and we're leaders. The most important thing that we could do is develop ourselves. We can continually level up, right? And so as a leader, what would you say, like, right now in this world that we're in, right? We all are in a world that we're in the middle of a reset, and it's not all the way even reset yet, but we're in the middle of it, right? So what would you recommend? What are you recommending to your queens and just someone that's listening who's a leader? Like, what would you recommend for them to be developed right now to be able to still thrive in the middle of what's going on in the world?
Yeah, so I'm really big on helping them create disciplines. Like, now is the best time to create disciplines, restructure. As you can see, all of our schedules are out of whack, like nothing is normal. So this is the best time to develop those disciplines while you're home, while you don't have the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Create those disciplines now for the things that you said you never had the time to do, or you never thought you could do. Now we've been given a measure of grace to be able to do things that we previously would not have been able to do under unfortunate circumstances, of course, but it's still afforded to us. So I'm really big right now on them having discipline, creating quiet time. The best kind of leaders are those who are centered leaders. And so I teach them also how to be leaders. So I teach them how to center yourself, how to get away, especially as women, how to get away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life, and to have a spiritual routine, have something that keeps you grounded. Make sure you are not trying to compartmentalize your life. You know, sometimes we try to just disassociate from different things when really we're free flowing systems. So we have to make sure that everything in some type of way connects and have some congruency and some consistency. So creating those disciplines right now are very, very important. Creating routines and systems in place to carve out time to work on your personal development, work on enhancing your mind. And then I'm always big on self-investment. It's very important that people, not just women, but people learn to invest in themselves for their personal development, whether that's investing in mentors, coaches, books, resources, whatever that is. We put so much on the outside that we neglect the inside. So we look amazing, but on the inside we're white as sepulchres, right? So we have to make sure that we have that balance and that we are feeding ourselves during this time. What are you feeding yourself? What are you watering? Whatever, because whatever it is that you're feeding is going to grow. And so when the dust settles, it's going to show what you've done with your time. It's going to show how you maximize that time. It doesn't mean being busy or, but being productive in the sense to where if production means resting, is this the season where you need to create a discipline where you need to set out time that you are resting your body, resting your mind, resting your spirit, being at peace, finding your chi, finding your center, whatever that is. So that's really what I'm really massaging into the queens in this season right now.
Wow. That is very profound. And I'm not surprised because I believe that that is what's required. When COVID hit, I remember like February when it was kind of like people was like, oh, wow, this could be something. And people was kind of having the conversations like, whoa, you got COVID. It was kind of like you don't know who have it. So you kind of, when it first started, I joked about it a little bit. It reminded me of how people used to talk about HIV, right? Which is an STD, right? So you be careful who you're around, who you mess with, because you don't know. This was something, this is just airborne. So I remember when that happened. And I remember when they shut down the borders, like no international travel. And all of a sudden I say, you know what? I saw within, like, this is going to be really serious. This is going to, if nobody can travel, that's going to shut down so many economies.
Yeah.
And what are people going to do? And so as a coach myself and as an entrepreneur myself, which is two different things, right? But they just kind of come together. As a coach, okay, my clients that I have, the people I'm already serving, people that I'm helping through, how can I be prepared to help them? As an entrepreneur, entrepreneurship, my definition of entrepreneurship that I use is someone who solves problems for profit. Okay. So entrepreneur side of me, okay, what is the problem that people are having and how can I solve it? And how can I help them discover problems and solve them? I saw companies shutting down, people getting laid off back to back to back. What I realize is that we have, again, an unbalanced approach to how we develop ourselves. And if we don't understand and really take seriously holistic development, the real word, the real life meaning of being holistic, because as you said, everything about us is connected. So like what you do at work, your job, your career, your professional life is not really separate from your home life. It's not really separate from your romantic life. It's not separated. Now you may try to compartmentalize them, but the thing is, if you and your boo are not doing well, it's going to affect you at work.
Absolutely.
Right? If your money is not right, it's going to affect you and your boo thing. Right? It's going to affect all the dreams that you have. It's going to affect your physical body, your emotions, everything. And we have to understand that we are really holistic people. We're holistic beings. And if we don't understand
that, beings,
yes,
mind, body, and soul.
Yes, and we don't understand it and intentionally. Just like when you want to lose weight, you intentionally change your diet. If you do not intentionally change your diet on developing yourself, your soul, your spirit, your body, if you don't do that, you'll be like a lot of people who have lost it right now. Like, and like you can lose your job or you can lose your company. And if your soul and your spirit are solid, you won't necessarily lose it, right? You have something to fall back on. And so it's very important that we understand like all these areas are very, 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 very important. So I'm glad that that's what you're teaching the queens, right? Because that proves to me that that is what it is. Like, because we can't control, there's so much we can't control. And again, the dust hasn't even settled yet. We're in the middle of an election right now. Right? So it's not even settled yet. But you guys got that. You want to make sure that you look at every area of your life. Thank you. Thank you for that, Destiny. Thank you. Thank you. So another question for you. So as a leader in this generation, right? We are both millennials, right? We're both innovative. We're both very, very relevant in our space. Tell me about one of the things that you love about our generation as leaders, right? One of the things that you love about it, and then one thing that we need to really work on as leaders.
Yeah, so one thing I love about this generation is that we break out of the iconoclastic ideas, you know, all these ideologies that were presented to us sometimes growing up or just have always been there, whether it's traditions, whether it's just the way of doing things. This generation is really adamant about seeking knowledge or seeking out for themselves, right? So it's more so no more just passing down traditions, but it's really establishing, what do I want for myself moving forward? What do I want my future to look like? What do I want the generations that will come behind me? What do I want to give them now? We're more so really invested in building legacy, realizing that a lot of the people who went before us, they did things out of necessity. Like they didn't have a choice. They did what they had to do so we could be here. But now we're realizing that they did out of necessity. Now we don't have to do it out of necessity. We can do it out of our own, you know, need or our own desires, but we have the ability to now choose. We no longer have to just accept. So I love that about our generation. One thing that I do think that we can work on a little bit more is I feel like we collectively have to put in a little more work ethic. Like some of the generations that are even coming up behind us, we have to be able to show Gen Z that nothing comes without hard work. Because we are in the society and the generation of TikTok, of Instagram, of Facebook, of overnight sensations. And so because that's what's being presented so much, the belief comes that there's no more hard work that goes along with it. Like everything has to happen instantly. Like a lot of us in generation don't understand process and development, right? We want to skip steps. And what happens when you skip steps, you miss things, and it's just like math. If you miss in school, if I missed a day of math, it was over. Like, because the next day we're learning something new, but what you learn, it builds. And so in life, everything builds. So we have to make sure that we are intentional with taking every step that is given to us, every experience, extracting the lesson out of it, because as you skip steps, when you get to a certain point in life, you realize that you were not equipped to handle that. That's why you see sometimes so many child stars or celebrities or artists, they rise quickly to fame and then they can lose it all very quickly because it was pretty much given to them and they did not have to struggle or suffer. And not saying everything comes with the suffering, but there are still things that develop you along the way. I would say for our development, for our generation, we have to learn the principles of process and development for our life.
I totally agree. I totally agree with you. We had it good and bad at the same time because the world changed while we were growing up, and we got to ride the wave. At the same time, while we were riding the wave, our parents are riding the wave as well, and they were doing their best. They helped create the wave, so they're enjoying the wave, and everything changed, and they didn't know what to expect. They didn't even know what they weren't doing, and so we're seeing now the effects of that. And as a parent myself of 8, four girls, I know I'm rare.
Yo, you're balanced.
That's right, balance. I'm a Libra too. Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. So but I realize even as a parent, what I talk to my kids about most is like you got to put in the work You have to put in the work. It's no way around it. It's not for consistency. Let's put it like that.
And longevity.
Yes. Like it's no way. It's really no way around it at all. It's no way. I used to think there might be a way, and some people short circuit it. But again, it's not longevity. It's not nothing that's consistent. If you're lucky, you come up on a lick that give
right, catch a lick, but
then right.
Licks don't last though.
No, because they only licks. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You gotta
get it, and it's gone. Get it and it's gone. So yeah, you gotta be intentional.
Yeah, so the processing is the key that I believe as well. Like I've always loved to learn. I just love to always find like what's the potential of this. And because of that, I just challenge myself. But as I see now, that's really not normal.
People are not intrinsically motivated, meaning it comes from within. They're extrinsically motivated, meaning they need external factors. And not that there's wrong, there's no wrong or right, as long as I guess you get it done. But they, like with this generation and the Generation Z coming up under us, they're more impressed with money, with status, with clout, getting a blue check on social media, like having, popularity, having followers, like quick money, fast money. Like they're not playing the long game, right? And so for me, I'm in it for legacy, and legacy creates longevity. So it may take me a little longer to get there, but once I get there, I can't be moved, right? It's like I'm like one of those old school artists. I don't drop singles. I make albums, right? Like
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm creating an album. I'm creating a body of work. I'm creating a catalog. I'm like the Clocks was back in there, like they created catalogs, like the singer
like Gladys Knight and them last night.
Yeah, the Gladys Knight on the like they created catalogs of music. I mean, that transcends space and time. A lot of things we have today, although it's good, it's not timeless. It's not timeless. It's temporary. And so that's why it's hot for a moment, but a decade later, no one's going to remember it. Whereas you have us still sampling music from the 40s, 50s, 60s, because this music, it had longevity, right? It speaks of legacy. And so that's what I want my life to represent, legacy and longevity. So I don't want it to just be, and it's one thing that I always say, I want my words quoted before my casket is toted, right? So don't wait until I'm dead and gone. And now all of a sudden, like I love Nipsey Hussle. I think he's an amazing man. Unfortunately, I didn't know him until he died either. But once he died, then you saw everyone wanting to quote him and give him the credit that was due him that he should have been given on this earth. And so for me, I'm like, don't wait until I'm gone. Like I want my words quoted before my casket is toted. So hashtag me for a good thing, quote me by Destiny Inspired. Like don't wait till I'm gone, then dig up all my work and want to honor me. No, I am living the legacy. Nelson Mandela, in my book, Discovering Destiny, I talked about how Nelson Mandela, he's my epitome of a living legacy, because before he died, he lived the legacy that he wanted to leave, which was love, which was killing hatred with love, with integrity. Like he lived that. So when he died, it was there. The former mayor, Shirley Franklin of Atlanta, she said in a leadership talk with Dr. Rashad Ritchie, she said, if you have to ask me what my legacy is, then I didn't do a good job leaving one, right? So I don't want to ever someone have to question, well, what was her legacy? Or ask me, what is your legacy? I'm just going to keep living. I'm going to keep living the legacy. So you never have to question. Without fail, Chadwick Boseman, Kobe Bryant, like no one has to wonder what was their legacy. They lived it. So when they left this earth, they left a living legacy, that it was no hands down. It was not a dispute of, are they the greatest of all time or of their time, or do they have a legacy? No one ever asked those questions, because they lived their life and created such an impact, such work ethic, that they left, leaving all of that here. They lived on full and left on empty. And I believe there's still always more, but they lived full. Like they let it all out. Chadwick Boseman, for 4 years, he created more movies in 4 years than most actors do in their entire career with cancer. Can you imagine having to go to chemo and having to still fight through that on a movie set for 8 hours a day and never knew it, never missed the beat, and created one of his most impactful movies, The Black Panther, while battling cancer. So, I mean, this is the epitome of living a legacy with longevity. So that's why our generation, they have to be intentional with that, because none of that happened by accident. It was all intentionality.
That's right. And intentionality It's something that I talk about actually in my book, in the Power of One
Mm-hmm.
playbook, right? There's two types of leader in the world. You have passive leaders,
Mm-hmm.
those that just kind of just let stuff happen, and then you have the
Yeah.
intentional ones. And the
Yeah.
intentional ones, the people that are intentional about those are the ones who are the super leaders. Those are the ones that make the impact. Those are the ones that we should be aspiring to be like. And so,
Absolutely.
absolutely, I love that. That's so true. That's so true. Now, next thing I want to talk about, okay, is
Yeah.
you talked a little bit about it, but I want to
Mm-hmm.
our so part of our relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a coach. We're in business. We're in the same industry, right?
Yeah.
And I love your drive and your work ethic and your business acumen. In fact, I called like, hey sis, listen, I'm trying to upgrade, level up. What you think? And we actually like had a
Yeah.
session,
Yeah.
everything about it.
Yeah. It was
Um,
good. Connect.
and so those people that have a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I believe everybody needs to have a coach, no matter what you do, no matter what, just have someone else kind of outside of you
Mm-hmm.
to see you outside of you, right? But as a business owner, right, that's building right now in this
Mm-hmm.
time, right? What are some, if you say just two things, just two things that you would say as a business owner, no matter what business that they're in, right? What would you
Mm-hmm.
say to business owners that are trying to really build right now?
I would say consistency and integrity, right? I say consistency because, again, we just talked about nothing happens overnight. And the more consistent you are, the better you will get at something. In the speaking world, we call it getting your reps in. So
Right,
as a speaker, we would have to like record ourselves speaking for 5 minutes, 15 minutes. Everything we did, we had to do some type of speaking, interacting with people, but it was practicing. We call it
right,
getting in your reps. So
right,
being consistent not only builds what you're doing, but it enhances it, because it's impossible, almost like if you, for instance, let's do someone who does social media content. It's impossible to put out so many pieces of content every day or every week or every month, so many pieces of content without it getting better and better and better, right?
right,
Without it challenging you, because you have to think of things, you have to create, you have to use your mind, you have to think what will add value, what do they need, you have to, analyze. So it's impossible to do something so much and not get better at it, not serve more people with it, and not grow whatever it is you're doing. So whatever it is you're doing, whatever industry, you have to be consistent with it.
mm-hmm.
Consistency kills. Like when I first started out, I did not know what I was doing, but I consistently kept going and kept going. I kept building. I kept trying things. I kept falling. I kept getting up, but I stayed consistent with it no matter what. And the consistency, the more you do it, it becomes what you are, right? There's a quote that says, excellence is not an act, but a habit. Because the more you do it, it becomes your nature, right?
Right,
So
right,
consistency, that's very important, because there are going to be times where you want to quit and want to stop. But having that drive to just keep being consistent and doing it, eventually you're going to look back and see how much ground you've covered. And then integrity.
mm-hmm.
It matters the integrity in which you do something in, right? Sometimes we're so quick to want to get something out there, so quick to build a business, so quick to gain clients or gain, followers or gain whatever, until the integrity of the work we produce suffers.
Right,
Because we're on a hamster wheel, we're trying to keep up, we're trying to catch up. And so we just do anything. And so
right,
you have to make sure you have integrity with whatever you do, because that matters, right?
absolutely.
Not saying that you consume all your time on one thing, but you want to make sure whatever you are serving people and producing for them, you do with the level of integrity that they will always come back, that they will always tell other people about you. They will recommend you because of the quality of work that you're producing, right? Whether you're
Yeah,
serving people with a service or a product, whatever it is, you want quality over quantity of it. So regardless of the quantity of clients, what is the quality that you're giving that one client, those two clients? Because then they will then be your word of mouth. They will then share with the Queen Council, with everything I've done. It started as a very small nucleus, but I serve those women like I have a multi-million-dollar company. I serve them with such integrity because I'm faithful and a good steward over what I have now, so that God can bless it and grow. And as a result, it grows month by month, leaps and bounds, word of mouth. They spread. They're going to tell somebody who's going to tell somebody who's going to bring somebody in, because of the integrity that I have when I'm working with them. And then the consistency. It's not like they see me one day, then they don't hear from me, where to call at, where I ain't seen her do nothing, because I'm consistent with what I do. So I would say integrity and consistency are important in building any type of business, regardless of the industry.
I love it. I totally agree. Consistency and integrity. I like one thing that you said about the integrity, which falls into my space and in my world. When you're talking about, yeah, think about just one person, and my whole world. Well, not my whole world. Big portion of our world is really dealing with the power of one, right? Do you understand really the potential of just one customer, right? What you invest in just one customer. In fact, when you speak, when you're doing marketing, when you're doing whatever, understand that, yeah, you may be speaking to a mass of individual people, one person. And all it takes is your first customer. You get one customer, put everything, like you said, everything into that person as if they're your last customer, as if you need them to come back tomorrow, because you really, really do, right? You need them to want to come back, at least want to come back so much that they're talking about you, so that they're talking about you and that word of mouth spreads. But just one customer, all it takes is one customer to put the wrong kind of complaint out there about you as well, right? Yeah. If they pay you their money and you don't deliver, so in operations and management world, they taught us already, like it takes you 20 positive experiences with a customer to get a compliment, but it just takes one negative one, and they'll go tell all the world about it, and it don't even necessarily have to be your fault. So we have to work extra hard to one person multiple times to get maybe a compliment, maybe a review, right? But just mess up one time, your whole career could be over with. Just one mistake. I love that. Integrity and consistency. Y'all got that, right? Consistency. And listen, if you're not following her, Destiny Inspire, you will see consistently. I'm talking about, she opens the floodgates every single day with content.
I just try to add value.
Hey, listen, I just have to speak the truth. I'm trying to give you yours while you're here, sister. All right.
I appreciate that, King.
No problem. So listen, so I want to talk about the next thing. So we have something coming up. I'm really, you see how many reallys? Really 7. Really excited about, because this year is we're having the Power of One conference again. This is our 7th annual Power of One conference. Yes, it's crazy.
Yeah, I love it.
And it is our first virtual conference. How about that? Right. So we've done several virtual events in the past, just especially this year. Part of even me, like, okay, how can I continue to serve people well? How can I serve my audience well? So instead of doing, because 2019 built a partnership with Microsoft, and so we were doing free workshops every month out at Lenox Mall. COVID-19 said, no, we can't do it. In fact, Microsoft, they shut down all their retail locations. So they don't they're not even opening back up ever.
Stop it.
No, they're going to have one here, like in Atlantic Station. They're going to have one kind of like a model kind of store.
Yeah.
But yeah, they shut down everything. And it's okay. So my friend, my buddy, Justin, shout out to you, Justin. What up? Right. But he was saying, what was I saying? Oh, no, we shifted to where we had to do it virtual. So we just started doing them online. And in fact, that was amazing because it expanded my footprint wide. I'm talking huge, right? Now we serving people that are in literally around the world. I'm talking Philippines. I'm talking India, China. I'm talking Canada. I'm talking literally all around because of this. And so we're coming together. You, me, we have a huge lineup of amazing speakers and coaches and healers to help us all be empowered holistically, to help us, first of all, but then also you guys. And listen, you don't even have to leave your house.
That's it. Don't even have to leave.
You don't even have to leave your house. Just click. You don't even have to turn on your camera.
Right. You got to get dressed.
Yes. You can do it right in your bed. Right. So Destiny's going to be there this year. The theme this year is You Create Reality. You create reality. We are here as beings. Our whole purpose this year is to help you holistically grow, right? To help remind you and show you that, listen, as a human being, we already have this ability to create reality. Like she talked about earlier, like we have all these things around us. Like, what do you do with it? What are you doing with this time in this space that's here, right? There are some people who are crashing and burning right now, but there's other people who are thriving right now.
Yes.
Thriving way better than ever, right? My business has grown way better than ever because of this, right? I'm sure Destiny, I'm sure yours has as well because of this, right?
Absolutely.
But so what can people be expect to hear from Miss Destiny during the Power of One conference this year? Because if y'all missed her last year, right? But what can they expect this year?
Listen, I just know that they don't want to miss it, because whatever it is, you're going to leave with very practical principles and tools that you will be able to cut off that virtual and execute on immediately. Because now more than ever, it is imperative that you tap into your power. It is imperative that you tap into why are you on this earth, and what is it that you're supposed to carry out with your assignment, and what is stopping you from doing it? What is stopping you from creating that reality? Like, there is no one or nothing holding you back but you. So now you just need the tools for your tool bag so you can be able to execute and continue to build. So they definitely don't want to miss a Power of One this year. It's going to be so awesome, Jeff. I'm so excited to be a part of another year, and it's going to be bananas.
Yes, bananas, and some folks in their pajamas.
I like what you did there.
Y'all know about that. That went over y'all head. Bananas and pajamas.
They'll have to go back and rewatch it later. It's cool. It's cool.
It's gonna be amazing. Destiny's gonna be there, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I always learn a lot. This conference, I tell everyone, like this was kind of like, my nickname is like a FUBU conference, because FUBU is for us, by us. Right? When we started iCreate, I knew as an entrepreneur myself. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 14. Right? I've been a leader since then. I mean, I'm talking like on paper, right? Yeah. And I've always wished that I could get in front of and get around people who was really doing it, so I can learn from them. Yeah. I used to in my career in marketplace, where I was in operations and management, I would hear about the higher up, the high, regional, the VPs, them people. They get to go to these conferences and they'll come back all excited and be like, yeah, okay, we're at this conference. And then they're trying to, like, dude, I wasn't there. I don't have the experience that you had. You know what I'm saying? It's like this bottleneck. And then they would kind of pick like what part they want. Like, yeah, see, y'all should have been there to hear this part, because this is what we need. Blah, blah, blah. Like, yo, man, like you still didn't even grow, right? You didn't even grow out of that. And you just kind of got more arrogant. No shade, but no, it is shade.
Use it as a mirror, as a window instead of a mirror.
Exactly. And then when I got a little older and I moved up, I started attending conferences, right? And so as a manager and a business owner, I would go to business and leadership conferences and events, and they were dope. They were so great, right? I would learn a lot about business, and if you ever go to them, it's about your numbers, right? It's about your people. How do you get your people on track, and how do we do this? Which is great, right? The thing is it did not help me spiritually. I didn't grow spiritually at those, right? So now I go to a conference to get fed spiritually, right? And I would go, and it would be at a church, right? And it would be very theological. It'd be very doctrinal. I'd be a lot of sermons that are there. Like, yeah, it's a couple workshops, but none of them were really what helped me as far as my career side as well. So it was kind of like, where do I have to go here and there, here and there, here and there? When we started this conference, like, what would the ideal perfect conference be for me to go to? How can I get all of those? How can people get all of those together? And so we have literally people coming from all different backgrounds, different disciplines, to come and help us all learn and grow, because we want to grow ourselves, and then we want to help other people grow. And so this is that FUBU conference. So if you are a leader, even if like you aspiring, I'm talking seriously aspiring. I'm not talking about one of them wannabes like, yeah, I want to be this. No, it's a difference. Some people, like I said, even in the story, some people were just regular. Some people had that extra, you know what I'm saying, right? You're a person with that extra, with that sauce, with that juice, right? and you keep eating up and keep hitting ceilings, right? And you tired of that? Listen, you need to come kick it with us for them 2 days, man. You don't even have to come. Just log in and kick it with us for those 2 days. It's October 23rd and 24th. Trust me, you do not want to miss it. You do not want to miss it. And now, Miss Destiny, you have a conference coming up.
I do. Yeah.
I was so excited when I saw that. Like, girl, you better do that. Talk about your conference too.
Figure out going
to come to both.
Space. Yeah. So my conference is called Killer Confidence Virtual Conference Experience. And so kind of lengthy, but a Killer and Confidence Conference. And what that is for women specifically. I'm super niche. It is for the woman who is ready to tap into her full self. But in order to do so, there are some things that are attacking her destiny, right? There are some things that are after her confidence, after her hope, after her intelligence, after her family. There are things that are after her on the attack. And so we are producing the counterattack, and we're giving the tools that they need and the resources, bringing them to develop killer confidence that kills out every insecurity, kills out every hesitancy, kills out every issue that is trying to prevent them from becoming who they were designed to be. So we want to come to this conference to eradicate that, to really dig deep and figure out what is it stopping you. Is it in relationships? We're going to have a relationship panel. Is it in your spiritual life, your spiritual walk? We're going to have someone doing that. Is it in profession? We have someone that's a woman, she's an NFL executive, right? Busting through those glass ceilings, having to have confidence in a male-dominated industry. We have a young mental health expert who's a doctor in the mental health field. So we just have a lot, and it's all about killing everything that has come to kill or destroy your destiny. And that's October 10th, 10/10. Whatever you're doing is canceled because everyone wants it. 10/10. That's, I love numbers. I love words. So 10, that was very strategic. I was like 10/10/20. That's it. So.
Yes, y'all need to go. How can they go get their tickets right now?
Website, destinyinspire.com. No S on Inspire. /shop, but destinyinspire.com.
Yes, go get your tickets to the Killer Confidence Conference. Matter of fact, we need to go get Nicole's tickets because she was like, babe, I want to go. I said, of course you going. Don't even worry about that. So we got to go get ours. And listen, you want to stay tuned because you want to be at the Power of One virtual conference as well. Listen, you don't want to miss it. We have, like I said, right now, we're still locking in, but we have like 15 speakers that's going to be there. It's going to be multiple sessions.
I can't wait till those flyers drop. I'm so excited. I love a good flyer. I love it.
Yes, it's coming. It's coming. Right. So I'm very excited, and thank you so much, Destiny. Before we go, is it anything that's just really on your heart? Let's zero in, okay? Let's zero in to that person, right? That person, like I said, the one that have the juice, right? That have the sauce, right? But they're stuck right now. Whether they lead a team, right? Or they're running an organization or just their own life. Like, what would you say as we go? What would you say to that person that is just stuck? They've not because they getting tried, but they've literally taken care of everything that's around them and it's just waiting for the time to break free. What would you say to them?
Stop tripping over yourself. And what I mean by that is you are in a position to where you're second guessing yourself. You're doubting yourself because maybe you tried and it did not work out before, or maybe you went after something and it did not turn out the way you wanted it to. So now you are in your own head questioning if you are really called to do this, if you're called to still be a leader, if you're called to still be a business owner, if you're called to still even lead your home or your family. And so you have to get out of your own way because you are now in your own way. You have now been presented with the resources, with coaches, with resources, with events, things that are going to help build you up holistically as a person, spiritual, professional, and personal. Now, all you have to do is make the decision and be intentional, like we talked about. Make the decision that this is what I want and this is what I'm going to go after no matter what. So just get out of your own way, get out of your own head, stop tripping over your own self. You may have made a mistake. It doesn't matter. Get up and try it again. I believe there's no such thing as weaknesses. We have areas of opportunity. These are the areas where you have the opportunity to increase, to advance, to grow, but it is not a weakness. And so all you need to do is tap into the power of one that is within on the inside of you, the whatever one you believe in, that one on the inside of you, and unlock that and get out of your own way and go for the goal. That's it. In a
Wow.
nutshell.
In a nutshell. In a nutshell. Wow, that's amazing. And I would like to say to you that are there, right? I want you to remember, you create reality. No matter what's going on, as she said, get out of your way. Get out of your own way. Stop tripping on yourself. I love that, right? And what you do right now will affect the next 5 seconds, 10 seconds. At any point in time, we have the ability to stop and change directions. So as long as you stop, change directions, change the way you see yourself, change the way you respond to the problem that you had. Maybe you need to find someone else to help you. Maybe you need to find a coach, but you create the reality that you live in. So no one else has power over you that you don't give them. Right? So I want to thank, number one, my friend, my sister, the Queen sister, Miss Destiny Inspire, for joining me today for this. I'm gonna give you a hand. Thank you so much. I feel so excited. October 24th and 23rd, can't get here fast enough. But also make sure you guys go follow my sister. Go check her out. Destiny Inspire. If you're a woman, if you're a man, your woman needs to follow Destiny. I promise you. If it's a girl you like, a woman you like, right? Just like they try to drop little dimes on us, drop a little dime on Miss Destiny Inspire. And I promise you, she will be transformed.
Go get her conference ticket. Get your sister conference
tickets now. DestinyInspire.com, right?
That's it.
DestinyInspire.com. All right. Thank you so much, my sister. I love you very much. I'll talk to you soon. All right. And I love y'all. You create reality. Peace out. Oh. All right.